Hey everybody, it is ElCid 932 on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. We are here for another Friday of ElCid Unscripted. This is where you direct the conversation. I don't have anything planned. I put a post up. You have the opportunity to list a few things that you want us to talk about, and we could go from there. And we'll start with whatever the questions are from the post, and then we end up anywhere. Last week we were at travel. The week before, we were doing a playlist of all our favorite songs. It is a good time unscripted on Friday because I have a script for most of the time. You know, ElCid, when I do ElCid Unsolicited Advice, that is kind of scripted. It has a flow to it. This one, the flow is whatever you decide. Hey, to go to Africa. Glad to have you here. Glad to see you here on this Friday. Yay. I shouldn't say that too much. We know that someone, with a name close to that was seen out and about in the New York streets, okay? So, y'all, let's start with the first post. Make sure you like, share, and are subscribing to the channel. We are almost there to 500 subscribers, and I can only do that if you support. Hey, Ari, glad to have you here. So someone said, how do you tactfully tell your friend or relative something you feel is beneficial for him or her to know? So the first one is his or her significant other approached you inappropriately, wanted to be intimate with you, or do something unethical. First thing I would do is record them, okay? I will have them speaking to the mic. Of course, the hidden mic that you go and do. You want me to do something illicit. Hey, Tanya B here. Say, just listening. I had a Jill working out in my nasto voice. I know exactly what kind of voice is saying. I would make sure I record it, say that again and make sure I'm recording it. But how you handle it, I would just distance myself from that person because a lot of the times I'm like, I don't necessarily need to be the one to reveal it because all will be revealed. So if they're approaching you, they could be approaching other people in the circle to do illicit things, and it will come to light. Hey, Moon Dust Angel, glad to have you here. Yes, we're having a lovely day. We're having a great day. So just started with the first one. How do you tactfully approach a friend or relative that you feel with information that could be beneficial to them? So the other one is that their significant other is of the Rainbow Coalition. Hey, I stay out of that. You can, if you want to get involved, you can tactfully say, hey, I don't know how interested they are in you. And that could kind of wiggle its way into them figuring out whether they are of the persuasion that they wish to be with. Other than that, I stay away from that. That his or her clothes are too tight, too short, too revealing, or unflattering. Now, if you were my friend, then I could tell you that. Girl. Now, you know that wrap dress don't look too good on you. It ain't giving the effect that you looking for. Now, if it's my friend, I could daggone sure say it, and my friend could say it back to me. It's like, girl. Now, when you bought that was a few months ago, and we done packed on the COVID pounds. If it's my friend, I could say that. If it's a family, I don't know. Some family, I don't even get involved like that. I'm like, that's how you want to look? Okay. Hey, Nestos, Shackle Shuffle, Walk of Shame. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you in here. So the next part was that he or she has bad body odor or bad breath. I'll just tell them, maybe, tell them, you may want to, breathe into your hands, do a little, test when you change your clothes, maybe check, how the clothes are, the aroma or odor on the clothes, and make sure you have suggestions. Now, some people do like the fawn before, say, hey, I really used to like how the perfume you used to use back in the day, or the cologne back in the day. Did you run out of that? Some people like that, and then tell them. Depending on the relationship, I could just tell them. Yes, you should ask your friend what kind of image they want people to see, and then ask them while standing in front of the mirror if they feel their outfit gives off the image they want to project. I agree, Moon Dust Angel. I'll just ask sometimes, but if it's a real friend, I could be real with you from the get-go. The fifth part is he or she is overly promiscuous, and many people are talking about it and disrespecting him or her because of it. Now, I have had that issue. where I had to talk to a friend's teen. Okay. Now, you know how sometimes the parent isn't always the messenger, that sometimes another adult could give the message better and the child receives it. And I had to have that talk with one of my friend's daughters. And, I'm all a believer. Hey, you grown, you 18, you can do what you want to do, but you have to be aware. You have to be aware that one, it's a small, big town. Okay. You can, in an industry, develop a reputation that is not for hard work. And is this the image you wish to project? Is this the image you wish for other people to have of you? And I had to have the absolute conversation with her. Okay, well, when you no longer wish to be around town, how do you clean up this image? Because if you don't clean it up now and have it now, then you definitely, it can carry with you. The double standard is that men are seen as playa. You get the ladies, but a young lady, she gets a reputation. That's the bad side of it. Moondust Angel said, I had that issue with an old best friend when I was a teenager, and she used to dress provocatively. And I began to understand that people thought I was easy because we hung out together. I told her to stop. You have to. To be honest, I didn't understand people thinking I was like that, even though I hung out with her because I dressed extremely conservative myself because I didn't understand how to dress at that time. And I understand that. Like my girl, one of the only friends that I have kept from school, and she's godmother to my oldest, many people were like, don't be her friend because XYZ and da-da-da. For the same reason, Moondust Angel, they thought she dressed too provocative. She was too provocative. And, fortunately for me, I got the advice of, hey, you're going to have friends in all walks of life. Just make sure that when the stuff hit the fan, that you have your umbrella held out. Make sure you have shown your own reputation. And when I got to a certain age, I guess hanging out with the older folks, I kind of get their mentality of, I really don't care. Or if you think that of me, it tells me where you're thinking. And also, if you think that of me, you're going to have to prove it. You can say whatever you want, but proving it is another thing. Now, the fifth thing is he or she may have mental health issues that may make it difficult for you to interact with him or her. Now, you may ask them, have you considered getting an analysis or a diagnosis? You may ask. And in this day and age, I don't think that's a kind of stereotype. I think people should ask each other, like, hey, would you consider getting diagnosed? Because I see you kind of operating in this kind of way that seems kind of different to me. You certainly can say and do that with, folks around you. So again, I would totally say you can have that conversation. You can talk about it and just be gentle with it. No matter who it is, just be polite and gentle. Now, I may not be as gentle with my friends because they know my harsh personality. I'm feeling a bit harsh today, but I'm tired of people dressing badly and then whining when people tell them, what exactly do you expect? I understand. People should have the freedom to dress how they will. But the flip side of that is that people observing you have the freedom to think how they will as well. So if you are dressing a certain way, people will have their own thoughts. Now, I try to not judge the book by its cover. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt that they can and will be however they wish to carry themselves. That doesn't mean that that's who they are, because sometimes you'll see me out and you'll not provocatively, but you'll see me out and you'll be like, dang girl, what's going on? Sometimes you'll be like, dang girl, dang, you're looking kind of wrinkly today. And I'm just going out to run errands and just run back in the house. Sometimes that's how it is. Sometimes that is definitely me. So I can be, running errands on a Saturday morning. If you see me out at 7 a.m., I could be looking a little frumpy sometimes, okay? And I just want to get right back in the house. Let me run my errands, pick up my stuff, and go right back in the house. So the thing is, it depends. All of these questions, one, it depends on your relationship with that person. How can your rapport with that person in the past? How have you talked to them? And then to me, it'd be like, start off gently, like, are you sure you want to wear that? Because, don't trap a husband or boyfriend do you think this makes me look overweight? No, don't do that. But definitely ask someone who you say, be honest and be prepared for that answer. And if you're going to tell that person, you also have to be prepared for them to tell it back to you. Now, if you tell somebody like, hey, I think your boyfriend is behaving in a terrible manner, you got to be prepared for them to be like, well, you have behaved in a terrible manner, XYZ. That is always a touchy subject. I just distance myself sometimes. I don't have kids, but my aunt said when her daughter was a teenager, she had to speak to her seriously about how she dresses. Do you have to do that with your kids, or is it different if they're boys? It's a little different with boys because boys, boys can be outside in just your gym shorts. So it's a little bit different in that boys, I have to make sure, hey, please understand what gray sweatpants mean. Please understand how you are perceived by the ladies when you do certain things. With boys, it's a matter of the manners, the belching, the other bodily performances. That's what it is with boys. With boys, it is different. It is how you behave in public. It's like, no roughhousing with your friends and stuff like that. But yeah, with boys, it's not a matter of dressing a certain way. It's more the behavior. Hey, K Sharp, glad to have you here. Yeah, with boys, it's a matter, I more tell them, okay, when you dress this way, certain young ladies perceive you a certain way. But my boys are kind of like me. Don't have Jordans. They don't wear, jewelry. My boys don't wear name brand stuff. They'll wear quality stuff, but it is not like name brand central. So the average person would know what they're wearing, but it'll be well put together, tastefully done. And I'm always a bargain shopper, so we certainly didn't pay full price for whatever they're wearing. But my boys, the fact that they dress very simple yet neat, because it's not a name brand, they're not being sought after by the females of their age group. Okay, let's put it that way. They're not being sought after because they're not in the new thing. They don't even know what the new Jordans are. My children are so removed from that whole thing. They get their haircuts and whatnot. My youngest is trying to grow his hair out. Let's see. His hair texture is kind of like mine, not the color, but just definitely the texture. I'm like, are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you wish to do that, young man? Because it takes a lot if you go into, make sure your hair is curly and all that. It takes a lot of product, time, and I know he ain't for that. He just wants to be able to wash his hair, put some conditioner in it, put some leave-in conditioner and run. He will be a wash and go expert, but he wants his curls a certain way. And I'm like, young man, it takes time, it takes energy that I don't think you're going to put into it to get it looking the way you want to. Maybe you should get a flat top. Popular opinion, but absolutely love that style of hair. I know it's all the fashion, but it's so cool. I have given my children, carte blanche to do what they want with their hair since they're in high school. They know how to cut their own hair. They know how to line up their own hair. My husband, Mr. ElCid, he used to cut hair as when he was in college and a young man in order to earn money. So he certainly used to cut everybody hair. He used to have a long set of hair. He's bald now. But even how I twist my hair, he knows how to do that. He knows how to do all that stuff because he used to have long hair to his shoulders. And he sometimes looks at me and he's like, my hair was just as long. I'm like, I know, but I didn't know you then. But he certainly taught the boys how to cut their hair, do their own fade and all of that stuff. So my boys, I leave that, but I make sure to tell you, hey, that requires maintenance. That requires maintenance. And not the maintenance that I don't think you're doing right now or you were willing to do in the future for the curly look. So I'm like, okay, as long as you ain't coming through here, if y'all watch Married at First Sight, Chicago, that just happened. As long as you ain't coming in here with a man bun like David, we good. We are good. I do not want any of my children trying to do a man bun or trying to do, anything other than a full afro or maybe a flat top. That's fine, but just make sure it's neat. Make sure it's put together at all times. But that was the only suggestion or question that someone had. That was the only question someone had in the post. Let me let you know what's going on here now at this channel. Oh, and doesn't live in his parents' basement. Well, we don't have a basement. We don't have a basement. We do have an in-law suite on the garage level. We don't have a basement. But the bank accounts need the bank account. Okay? They need the bank account. So even if you live in your parents' basement and you're trying to get your money together, you need to be getting your money together. You really do need to. And I can't fault that whole parents' basement because I know people who have lived in the parents' basement or circumstances have caused them to live in their parents' basement. Their company went under or they were let go from their job. And, in this economy, people are living paycheck to paycheck. It is rough for folks to be able to save and stay gone in those circumstances. So if you are living in your parents' basement, however that looks for you, whether it's a Nick style basement or a David style basement. Now, Nick was in Love is Blind. Okay, y'all. Nick was Love is Blind. But whether it is a Nick style basement or a David style basement, make sure you're saving. Make sure you're getting rid of that debt. Don't just be living at your parents' house just to live at your parents' house and still be paycheck to paycheck. It's okay to help them with some bills and still be saving, but make sure you have a plan. And make sure you have an exit strategy. In all things, make sure you have an exit strategy. Have you seen Love on the Spectrum on Netflix? Is really good. Yes, I do watch it. And one of my sons is on the spectrum, high functioning, but he is on the spectrum. So I do watch it, but I don't want to review it because I'll be looking at it as the lens of a parent whose child is on the spectrum. And I'm like, I don't know all the layers of the spectrum. And I just want to be like, okay, I'll just leave that alone. I'm still hot that David tried to peddle like he was living on $100K amount of money. Hey, I don't know David's pockets like that. I can ask him. But what I do know now is they have 2 rental properties. So to say, he came from the basement, start from the bottom, now we're here. Start from the literal bottom basement, now we're here. Now they have 2 rental properties and they're still together. Whether they're not together or not, I hope they do have an exit strategy as how to divvy up, the properties if they're not together. I'm on the spectrum as well, and it's so interesting to watch. It is. And what I love with Love on the Spectrum is that I wish we were that open in our dating world, all of us. And I am harshly that honest. So maybe I am on the spectrum as well. But I am definitely very honest. It's like if I like the date, fine. I like the date. If I like you, fine. If I don't, I'll let you know. I just like how honest they are. If they do like something, if they don't like something, and it's not to be rude at all. It is just their honest feelings. It's like, oh, I like you, but there's no spark. There's no romantic spark. So I don't think I'll go out with you again. I'm just like, that's refreshing. That is refreshing. I do feel like the dude with the long curly hair needs a sedative, as he doesn't appear to know how to breathe properly. I love someone to tell him to slow down and breathe properly. He needs to start doing his own breathing exercises. That's what he needs to do. That's exactly what he needs to do. But I'm a couple episodes off because guess what? Last night was the first episode of History Channel's Alone. And I watched, I filmed, and I edited, and it is going to be out tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. We have had someone catch a fish. Someone hunt successfully a warthog. and someone has tapped out of the show already on the first episode, 4 days in. So I was so excited to just watch it. And I was like, last night it premiered at 9 o'clock on History Channel, and you could watch it on historychannel.com alone. And I was like, whoa. I love the show Alone. I love the survival shows because, when they say, do not try this at home, I'm like, I couldn't try it in the wild. So I'm definitely not trying it at home. It's refreshing. I love how they normalize asking for permission for things before they do them. Hardly anyone thinks to ask for permission anymore, which makes these people so refreshing. It is, for me, it's just, candid behavior from folks. It's like, oh, can I do this? Can I do that? And I think it's because they would like to be asked. They could just be doing it because they too would like to be asked before someone actually does something. So that's why I think they kind of like, I'll do what I would like you to reciprocate. I do like them, but I won't review them for now. But there's one couple that, lasted a long time and they covered 2 seasons, and I really do like them. But other than that, Love on the Spectrum, I just watched that for, conversation's sake. Then we find out Tomorrow Somebody's Son, which is on OWN. It has 2 episodes coming out tomorrow night. So definitely my Tuesday recap with actually Aubrey is going to be 2 episodes long. We're going to have to do 2 episodes long. It's going to be a while. Then tonight I'm going to be doing Never Ever Met on Another Round JS and with Just Rhonda 01. So you see Just Rhonda in the chats usually. So definitely I'll be there tonight. I'm hoping it's tonight at about 9 o'clock. We usually do it right after Never Ever Met at 8. But other than that, Alone, that I'm looking at Love is Blind. It's supposed to be, according to Netflix, Love is Blind, Brazil, France, UK, and one for the US is supposed to all come out this year. So the last 6 months, we're supposed to have 4 different Love is Blinds. How they going to do that? I don't know. Last year we had UK in August, then remember UK in August, then we had Germany in the fall. Oh no, Germany was January. We had somebody else in the fall last year. I can't remember. I'll have to look at my videos. And then we had a US version in the fall. So now that they're trying to do 4, Brazil wasn't in the fall. We had Mexico Mexico had overlapped somebody last year. So I mean, it is wild. I remember it is coming on tonight and was excited. Yes. Which of the non-American Love is Blind shows you like the most? I thought the Japanese one absolutely beautiful to watch. Also, Habibi show is wonderful and interesting. Now, let me take a sip of water before I answer you, Moon Dust Angel, because, I always have this little controversy. Okay? The Japanese version is aesthetically pleasing. Okay? But I will tell you, Habibi hit different. Love is Blind Habibi is my top favorite. And for natural, that is for culture. Love is Blind Habibi, I learned so much about culture and tradition, and I was able to see it. I absolutely love Love is Blind Habibi. I hope they come up with another season of it. Next up, my close second is Sweden. Sweden, just the natural beauty that they showcase of Sweden. Oh my word. Sweden has my heart. Plus, Sweden, we given Vanessa the babies that she keep asking for in the US. Sweden, the 2 seasons have had 2 brides expecting, full expecting by the reunion. So Habibi hit different. I learned so much. Bagpipes were out of Egypt. I learned about the food there. I learned about Moroccan wardrobe. I learned Safa, the way they conducted her bridal, her bridal party when all the brides came together for their, I guess what they would call in the UK, hen's dinner. It's just the women. And when, they did the henna, why they do that, why they wear certain colors. And then the men were at a Turkish bath and it's only the men, and they had the drummers and they were dancing, what the dances meant. I'm sorry. Love is Blind Habibi just hit a little bit different for me with that. I don't know if the area kind of resonates more with me, and just the dynamic of the people. And the reason why I love the Love is Blind and the other dating shows, and I know Ultimatum, Queer Ultimatum is coming out with a second season. But the reason why I like the international Love is Blind is that, people have dating challenges no matter where they are. That's just a fact. But it's just the challenges are different. The challenges are different. I know I got roasted for, which one was it? Which one was it that I got roasted for liking Marcel? Was that Germany? Yes, it was Germany. They roasted me for liking one of the gentlemen and kind of trying to understand him. It was Jen and Marcel, and people did not like the fact that I tried to understand where that man is coming from. Yes, I love all the lessons Habibi taught us. It was beautiful, aesthetically pleasing to look at. Yes, it was. Japan, I'm telling you, nothing to take away from Love is Blind Japan. It was absolutely showcased beautifully. But I just see things a little bit differently. For me, it was Habibi. And then Habibi brought all those, African and Arab, cultures together. It just hit different. And then, of course, one of the men in the men's lounge was yelling out that he loves the woman, and she could hear him all the way in the women's lounge. That was cheesy, but funny. That was cute. Other than that, I did like Germany. I did like all the others. The U.S. version I do like as well. I mean, the U.S. dating shows, you kind of see what happens across the country. People still have issues dating across the U.S. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. As far as the dating and the dating shows, I appreciate all the people that come in the dating shows, even though, y'all see me always have a scroll on the bottom, and before I even start the live talking about it, we know there's editing. We know there's changes made. We know things that could be placed out of context, and we're just reviewing the show that's there. And that's what I try to say on this channel, is that I'm not going to be too harsh on the person. I'm going to be harsh on what I saw. And if the person wants to come on my channel or any channel and say, hey, what you saw was kind of tweaked a little bit, I have no problem with that. Because, I'm invested in the show and what they show us and the lessons they're trying to teach us. But I know it doesn't encapsulate the people. That's why I say it in the beginning. That is not the entirety of the person on the screen. That's just a snapshot on that day. The thing that I enjoyed about the Japan show is the guy on it who said that he was looking for an old-fashioned housewife. If the girl did not want to marry him, they should say so now. And they all did. Yeah, I do like the fact that they're like, this is really marriage. This is really getting married. And it's okay if you say no. And please say no now if you don't want to get married. I do like their honesty and being upfront. And that's why I kind of I wondered with Habibi. And I know in my recaps, if you watch Habibi, it's like family is so important to their traditions. Family is so important in their marriage. You are presenting you're presenting your son as a husband to someone's daughter, or in some cases, the sister. And that is so entwined in their culture, tradition. So when somebody's family is not at a wedding, I know ain't gonna be no wedding. Ain't no way. Ain't no way they're getting married, without the family's permission or involvement. I like that people split amicably without dragging it out, just to have these people to stay on. What was kind of, unusual, and because it was cultural, when people met, some of them, the hug was wide. You were hugging from 3 feet away, or no hug at all, just bow to each other. I was like, okay, you bowed. Is that out of respect, or is that don't touch me bow? Is it a bow is norm, and you like me, then you really hug me, even though it's 3 feet apart? It was, for me, because I didn't understand the culture a lot, it was kind of like, was the bow really respectful, or was it a don't touch me? Felony indentured servitude with some of the people on the other version when it's clear they shouldn't be together. all these people are adults and they make their own decisions, I can understand the indentured servitude word, but I don't see it as that. Everybody signed the NDA, everybody signed up to be on the show, everybody signed up for these dating shows. So my thing is, what exactly are they, what exactly is the indentured servitude part of this? I'm not sure. But some people may think that they have to be together. These shows, people can say they don't. I just, Habibi 2 delivered on the reunion. I really thought, y'all, that, Love is Blind Habibi would have been so deep in tradition, we wouldn't get much other than history, but it had a lot of spice. Habibi had a lot of spice. Habibi's reunion, ooh, oh my word. When I believe it's Nuva and Dunya got at it, oh my word. It appeared like the young girl who was with the much older man seriously did not understand what being an adult entailed. If it felt like he had to constantly remind her how to be an adult, it's so annoying. Well, and that too is your version of being an adult. Like, I saw something online, and I saw it on Instagram, and it was from the show Couples Therapy that's on Showtime, and this one lady said that she, they just had a kid, and he had a kid from a previous marriage or relationship, I can't remember, and she said that he makes her feel so inadequate all the time, and she wishes that she didn't have a kid with him, or rather what she meant was she wished she had a kid with a man who didn't know how to be a parent, because every time she makes a mistake, she feels like he's scolding her, or don't do this, or don't do that, or you're overreacting, I've been through this before, and he's kind of not listening to her, and he's not allowing her to parent the baby or to be a mother and learn. And it's like, I understand what he's trying to do, learn from my mistakes, but it sounded like when she's saying, like, she's being scolded, like, shouldn't you know how to be a mother? It was really, really tough. So he was hurt when she said, I wish I didn't have a kid with you. She's hurt with him constantly correcting her on how to manage being a parent of a newborn, and he's judging her based on what his ex-wife or his ex, how she managed to juggle everything, and they were just hurting each other all the way around. But it was very, very powerful how, even though you communicate, how a misconception of that communication could also lead to people being hurt. And I had forgotten Couples Therapy on Showtime, but I don't want to review a show like that because not many people have Showtime. Not many people. I don't do shows on HBO either. Because of that, that's why I prefer Netflix shows, or, as I said, Alone on History Channel. Anybody could go to historychannel.com and watch Alone. I only kind of try to do shows where people have access to, or at least they could go on. At least they could go on YouTube and access it that way too. I'm not telling you how or where to access your shows or access the episodes. That's on you. But I just like to do shows that people have more access to, and Netflix seems to be universal. Even though I do love Married at First Sight Australia, I do like the drama because half of it is concocted. Married at First Sight Australia is my favorite. Most of the Australian version of shows are my favorite. And, that's another, that's a continent, not a place, but a continent I got to visit, Australia. Definitely want to trek there. I don't know New Zealand. Maybe since I'm already out there, I'd trek over to New Zealand. But there, Alone, Australia Alone, it happens on New Zealand, which I find very, very different. But Australia has like a bit of extra spice to their shows that I do find interesting. Now, what else would y'all like to talk about? This is 35 minutes in. We've covered what's on the post. How do we talk to people, close friends or family members? It all depends on your relationship with them. Basically, also how involved you want to get with it. I say sometimes just stay out of it. sometimes just stay out of it. Things will come to light and you ain't even got to do much of anything for things to come to light. So are there any other shows y'all are watching? I know Moondust Angel said Love on the Spectrum. We're waiting with bated breath for Love is Blind. So I'm doing Alone. We're waiting on Ready to Love. I'm doing Never Ever Met on Jay's channel. I'm doing Somebody's Son. You know, what else are y'all looking at? Hey, Debbie, glad to have you here. What else are y'all watching? I mean, I don't keep up with the trial that's in the news. I really don't do. The trial that's in the news, I'll peek in and peek out. But this is a channel that I consciously, I'm a channel where you can go to get away from that stuff. We can have a good laugh. We can have a good kiki. We could talk about things. We could have, good time, good old time. And I choose, like, if you want to escape what's in the news just for a period of time, you could come to this channel. I did put out a short with my interview with Cam from Ready to Love. I was so happy that he did agree to interview with myself. And I put out an all call to the rest of the Ready to Love cast to see if they would come and interview with my channel. Love Island USA. Girl, Debbie, I can't do it. Them young people, too much. I'll be yelling at the TV. I have watched Love Island just a couple of times. I would be yelling at TV. Don't you see them playing in your face? Da, 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 da. I can't do Love Island. Them 20-somethings are something else. They're something else. They're playing games. And Love Island is just to play games. I'm sorry, Debbie. I'm glad you took it inside, but And then I got to watch it 4 to 5 days straight and keep up with it? Oh, no. I'm trying to catch up on shows I've fallen behind on. I'm thinking about watching last season of Vikings Valhalla on Netflix. Ari, I was disappointed in Vikings Valhalla. Okay? For where we came with Ragnar Lothbrok, I was very disappointed. I was very disappointed in Valhalla. I have to say, I'm not going to spoil it for you. I also want to watch 3 seasons of Peaky Blinders, also on Netflix. Now that, Peaky Blinders? Well, heck yeah. Oh, yes, Peaky Blinders. Debbie said, yeah, they're very wild. Yes, they're very wild. It's kind of like Temptation Island and the rest of them. The only show I could watch like 4 days straight and kind of do y'all recap is what I did with Married at First Sight Australia. And I do the recap on the Sunday, and I do it like, do one recap for the week. I was so pissed about the last season of OG Vikings. I'll never forgive History Channel. Girl. I just watch clips now. I watch clips of Bjorn and his mother Lagertha, and I just watch clips of certain parts of, History Channel's Vikings. But I'm not a fan of Valhalla. The first season, yes. But I wish there's so much they could have done. But Vikings Valhalla, they started off real strong. I thought they were going to go somewhere with it. I was like, okay, I'm with you. And then they disappointed me. Who's your celebrity crush? Mine is either Jason Momoa or Idris Elba. Yummy. Okay. Well, since Idris is married, I'll leave him alone. I don't know what is considered a celebrity. I need definitions. Love hits Vitzer. Oh. Now, what I did like with the Vikings was when they came to the Americas and they met the Native Americans. Oh, I said, we going somewhere. And I was so disappointed because that was the end. I wanted to see how they assimilated. Celebrity crush. I don't know. Now, I can tell you celebrities I think are good looking, but crush, I don't know. Like, celebrity crush in what way? There's celebrities I admire. There's a lot of celebrities I admire, or at least admire, like sometimes they keen business sense and stuff like that. But crush, Because if they out here slinging dang-a-lang, then I'm thinking you community property. And I can't crush on that. I can't. I can't. I don't know what to tell you. Debbie. Yes, yes. That is a single man right there. Lenny Kravitz. That is a single man right there. That is absolutely lovely man right there. That we know of. See, I'm scared of the celebrity thing now because you don't know how much celebrity is celebrity. What we hearing in this case out here, some people may have a different lifestyle. It'll have to be a crush from afar. Okay, what celebrity I think is exceptionally gorgeous? Okay, exceptionally gorgeous. Exceptionally gorgeous. Daggone it. Exceptionally gorgeous. A different, I have a different standard of beauty, but I'll give you your regular, Boris Cujo, of course. I would give you your Michael B. Jordan, of course. I'm drawing a blank. But yes, definitely Lenny Kravitz. Barack Obama. No, Debbie, you could hold on to that one. Now his mind wonderful, but exceptionally gorgeous celebrities. You see, back in the day, the young ElCid, liked the thugs. The young ElCid liked the thugs. So you would have caught me paying homage to, let's say, an Exhibit. To a Luda. See, the back in the day Method Man, the real grungy Method Man. Yeah. Yeah. Back in the day, that would have been me. Now, more wholesome. Now I'm thinking about it like, it's a quiet ones. I like the quiet ones, but again, you believe in zodiac, or do you think you have traits of the zodiac? Whatever it is. I am a fire sign, Aries, and some of those things apply to me. I do cut people off real quick. I do burn hot. I have learned in my maturity to kind of not just flamethrow everything. Okay. I would be torch. I would just, I was young ElCid was bad. Young ElCid, party girl. No, I wasn't a party girl in the sense like you. I was more, people would know me, but I wouldn't be the out front party girl. I would go to house parties, go to different functions, go to street parties and stuff. Folks will know me, but not everyone will know me. Like, I'll make sure who needs to know me. Like, I would know some folks, and it will be like, okay, somebody be like, oh yeah, I know her, but it won't be everybody knows me. Everybody don't know me. But some people would. But yeah, I go hang out. I used to hang out at all. There was no part of New York City that was off limits, even though it should have been, because it was dangerous, because you have no right being there. But there was no part of New York City, Yonkers, Jersey, Philly area that I wasn't, that I was immune to, that I'd be like, oh no, I don't think I should go there. I don't think it's safe. I would come back and be like, well, where were you? I was over here. It was what? You over there in the dead of night? Yeah, it was fine. It was cool. I made it back home safe. But I don't know. And then I used to dress very tomboyish. So I guess nobody would kind of try me or whatever. But yeah, I would dress very, very tomboy. A white shirt and I would be as Biggie said, the red and black lumberjack with the hat to match. I don't think I have a crush anymore. I know. That's the hard part. And then when you have like a celebrity crush and they do something that disappoints you, like, oh, dang on it, you off the list. You off the list. I can't think of many others, because it's like, oh, I like your music, but your behavior, behind the scenes or your behavior that we hear off stage. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Now, who I would tell you my mother was scared I would become. My mother was scared I would become Tracy Chapman because now if you talk about someone that just resonated with me, it was Tracy Chapman and her music. Fast Car, that entire album. My mother was scared that I will pick up my guitar and end up in Boston playing the guitar. Oh my word, she thought I would be, because Tracy Chapman was everything at that time for me. And she would be like, you gonna cut off all your hair and do your hair? Don't do it, don't do it. It was, my mother would be afraid I would become Tracy Chapman. That was the funniest thing. Still absolutely love her music. Still absolutely love Tracy Chapman. But that would be really, really funny. Really, really funny. What else? Celebrity. See, the problem is the celebrity disappoints half the time. Not all the time, just half the time. Half the time. But yeah, I agree with Ari. I don't think I have crushes anymore. I just look at people like, they're just regular, normal people. I have met a few of them, and they've all been nice and just regular people. And that may be the issue. I met Spike Lee when he came to my school, met Samuel L. Jackson when he did the same, met Toni Morrison when she did the same. So a lot of, and then when you go to out in New York, you see celebrities, you see, at the time I saw Drew Barrymore, I saw Glenn Close, I saw Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. So it's kind of like, the celebrity thing is kind of, When I was watching All American, I just love the look of Daniel Ezra. I don't even know what Daniel Ezra looks like. I really don't. Who is Daniel Ezra? I'm gonna have to pull up Daniel Ezra. Okay. Daniel Ezra is handsome. He's a very handsome man. Okay. I didn't watch All American, as you could tell. I did not. I didn't watch most of most of his movies looking at it. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Not at all. Not at all. I haven't seen most of his shows. But yeah, Daniel Ezra is a handsome man. I'll give you that one, Ari. He's not mine to give, but I'll give you that one. Now, one show that I'm waiting for it to come back is there's an Asian series called Regeneration. And I only just saw like a recap of it. And this is what I really don't like with these recaps. I saw a recap of it and I was like, oh, that recap looks good. Let me find out, go in the comments, see what the movie is or the series, and then go look at it. I was captured by the recap. And I was looking, where to watch? It told me go to Amazon Prime. It ain't there. It told me go somewhere else. Netflix. It ain't there. It was just last year. So I'm waiting for it to come back because I did find it elsewhere, but it's not English dubbed all the way. I saw, I think, the first 3 episodes, and it's a 10-part series. Regeneration is where this person passes away, and 5 people are invited to their memorial service. And those 5 people know the person, know the man in a different way. There's a journalist, there's a regular girl, there's a rich businessman. I think the other guy's a police officer, or at least he says he is, and another girl who's a party girl. But they all know the same name, but the picture they have is of a different man. So they have to all tell the story of how they knew him in order to get out of this memorial room that they're locked in. I was like, y'all doing too much. But the story of how he conned each of those people was riveting. Just watch the side that shows you where you can either watch online, buy or rent TV shows and movies. I got tuned by Horror Movie Channel. I sub to. I'll have to check there, Ari, because I saw 3 episodes and I was like, I was hooked. And then here comes someone saying, only watch the first 7 because the last 3 will disappoint you. It's like, no. Now, what I am a fan of, what I do watch as well, but I don't recap it, not on my channel, but I do watch a Game of Thrones. I do watch a Dance of Dragons. I did watch Dune, old and new Dune. I do have the Dune books. I gifted that to my eldest. And we're supposed to be watching the story of the Bene Gesserit, which is part of the Dune series. Supposed to be watching that series, but we kind of fell off. But those are the types of science fiction stuff we like to watch. Yeah, it's pretty accurate because IMDb doesn't always show where. It wasn't IMDb, it was another site that I usually find. Hey, Chick-fil-A gal, glad to have you here. We're just chilling like a villain. We're just chilling, talking about the shows we're currently watching, other than these court cases out here and seeing who's on trial and seeing, chaos that's going on elsewhere in the country. We're just talking about what we watch, what we currently watching, what shows we want to have back, what shows we were disappointed in their finales. We're just, of course, this is unscripted. There's no script for today. Last week, we talked about travel. We talked about Sweden. We talked about, getting your global entry. We talked about global entry comes with your TSA pre-check. So we were talking last week about travel. This week, we're talking about shows we're watching. Shows to recap. We already talked about Love on the Spectrum. We talked about Alone, that you'll get my recap for episode 1 tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm just feeling for some nachos, y'all. I don't know about you. I'm feeling for some nachos. I may need to order something. Though I have food downstairs. Don't let that trip you out. I have food downstairs. But I may feel for some nachos. Isn't it always that we want what we don't have at the moment? Isn't it always that we want what we don't have? Other than that, what else are we watching? What else are we looking forward to? I just need Netflix to tell me, when is Love is Blind coming back? When are they coming back? I need to know. Love is Blind UK season 2. Are we coming back in August like we did last year? Are we coming back? They're saying it will launch later this summer. That's all I know. That's all I know. That's all I know. Later this summer. But we're supposed to have Love is Blind UK, Brazil, and all this other stuff. I just finished eating street tacos. Now, you know, Chick-fil-A gal. Why do you got to tell me that? Why gotta tell me that? Oh, I hope they were fish tacos. That's the only one I'll have. Stop it. You're making me hungry. They said on an ad on Instagram it should be out either in August or September. I know, but I need a date. Just like, Ready to Love already has us in a chokehold till August 1st. See, I need to put my schedule together. That's the only thing. Because we have that. And I hope they don't do to us what they did last time. There were, what was it, Mexico and Germany? Or there were 2 Love is Blinds that were head-to-head and overlapped each other. At least for a few episodes. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're trying to break me. We're waiting for that. We're waiting for the Love is Blind UK, which is supposed to be sometime in August or September. We're waiting on Love is Blind Brazil, which is for the 50 plus. Where's Samantha? I know she's moving, y'all. Samantha's crew. We're waiting on Love is Blind Francais. That's also coming out. We're waiting on the Love is Blind for the US. That's supposed to be in Denver. That's supposed to be at the end of this year. So the next 6 months going to be 4 different Love is Blinds with all the other stuff mixed in. Ooh, we're going to be tired. We're going to be tired, y'all. Well, at least I will be. I may have to turn into, instead of recap videos, I may have to do recap lives just to keep up. But no, I have to do videos for each episode. That's the best way to do it, to kind of like space it out. What I do is I watch 4 episodes, make my notes, and then film, and then edit, and then put it out 1 episode at a time. That's the only way I can manage it with the schedule. And now that I do not have a high schooler, it frees up my schedule a whole lot more. frees up my schedule a whole lot more. Yep, it will be air this summer, but I don't know about Love is Blind Francais. I put LIB and it said, no. It gave me something wrong. It'll be released in 2025. Netflix is taking Love is Blind. They confirmed Love is Blind France is in the filming process and will drop in 2025. Okay, 2025, we got a lot of Love is Blind. I wonder if Love is Blind Habibi will have a second season. Hopefully this season of Love is Blind UK will be a lot better than the other season. I really did like Love is Blind UK season 1. I don't know about y'all. I liked it. I like the dynamic of Freddie and Catherine. I still don't think Freddie is the saint that people paint him out to be. I liked, Ollie and Demi and the conversations they sparked. I liked most of it. I really did. We got to talk about Jasmine and Bobby, and then we had, Nicole and Benaya. And that whole triangle with Sam, and then she dumped Sam and got what that was. Woo. And the same thing like Love is Blind Germany, when our girl came at the mixer and the dude realized, dang, she's beautiful. I should have gone with her, and she shut him down. I just liked Love is Blind UK the first season. I don't know how people didn't like it. People were, Freddie showed how pretty privilege worked, because that man had a house. I understand he had a house. He had a mortgage on the house, and he had no doors. But pretty privilege said, it's okay, he has a house. Not the fact that he has a house with no doors up except the front door. Oh, it's okay, he has a house. Everybody was willing to forgive Freddie of a whole lot of stuff, and I was willing to call Freddie out on a whole lot of stuff. Like, Freddie waited too late. It's like Freddie knew what was going on with Catherine ahead of time. And at that mixer, he definitely would have known that he was not interested in her. My only thing, now y'all, this is my controversial take. I just feel that Maria should have explained some of the things she wanted Tom to do. She wanted a bit too much from him, and he should have walked away sooner. He should have, but you never know. He should have walked away, and then she should have walked away because he wasn't giving. He was given as much. Freddie did a very serious job of wanting to be able to cut loose when he wasn't at work, which Catherine refused to allow him to do. I think she cut loose a little too much. Remember, she needs to party and hang out with her friends, not with him. Now, one thing that was very controversial, and y'all know I have a different opinion than most. Although he was the fan favorite, and though he was my favorite on the show, is the after the show, Ollie was not my favorite after the show. I thought he took it well that Demi said no. He was very surprised at the altar, like, what? His surprise face is phenomenal. But after the show, he went, I guess, right after the wedding or soon after, and was dating Charlotte. And then now he went to Perfect Match and got with AD, and congratulations, they're engaged and expecting a child. I just feel like Ollie was just hop, skipping, and jumping with reality show ladies, and I just, it kind of gives me a twinge of, and let me put this one thing here that I know y'all love to hear from me.
I hate to be shady unless I really have to. I hate
to be shady unless I really have to. And I had to be shady with him. I kind of side-eye him a lot. Just a tad, because the dating history is like, it's saying I wish to be a reality show couple. That's what it's telling me. I want to be part of a reality show couple. I didn't get that from AD, but he was just going around. I'm glad. Chick-fil-A gal. If I could, I would have Miss Phaedra be giving me line after line after line because I love the way Phaedra just says it. She got to be shady, but it's the way she's shady that's so classic and classy. I'm sorry he was icky, and the way he moved on so fast was a bit disgusting for me. He wasn't my favorite. I just couldn't with him play acting at the altar when Demi said no. Yeah, I understand that. But you know what I appreciated with him and Debbie? They brought out these conversations with the parents. We saw Demi's father and his love for his daughter. We saw Demi come into her own, or maybe it was always there. It was just edited that way. We also saw how he came out and said, you know, he has his challenges with ADHD and how he tries to manage it. It was a lot of good conversation around them. But how he acted like that. And I wonder if it was edited out of the social mixer, because we knew Charlotte was at the mixer, but we didn't see him interacting with Charlotte. I wonder if that was intentional. I'm just saying, I don't want to be shady unless I really have to. Thank you, Phaedra. Y'all know I got to go back. I got to find a whole lot of Phaedra. For a lot of when the US Love is Blind comes back, I need a whole lot of Phaedra, given the shade that she always does. Now, y'all have had me on here for an hour. We've talked about the shows that I'm watching, that you're watching. I do have a show to watch tonight. And maybe I'll get myself some nachos. And somebody done told me that they went and had street tacos. Now, what I could do is some street corn. Chick-fil-A gal talk about them street tacos. I may need some street corn. Windows Asia, I never liked Ollie based on how he moved. I didn't like how he moved either, but it was after the show. After the show, I did like the conversations, but after the show, I was like, it's screaming, I want to be part of a reality show couple. I want brand deals as a couple. That's what it's acting like to me. I don't know. That's just me. But hey, I already said it was both for me. You always like to take all of it, a little too much. You're like, it's not one, it's both. He moved on far too quickly, and I really don't think AD learned anything from my experience with Clay. Now, that could be a whole other hour. Now, here's my question then, since you brought up Clay, because I wasn't going to bring him up. Since we brought up Clay, why do people vilify Clay? Truly, I'm asking. Why do people vilify him? Because technically, he saved her and himself. Because technically, I think what people didn't like is that he didn't give her a heads up. The show is Love is Blind. We are not supposed to make a decision until we are at the altar. Too many times have we seen people done told their person ahead of time to what? Save embarrassment. And it played out on camera, and we saw it, and we noticed it, and we're told later. But Clay went up there, and she was shocked it was a no. It's always a possibility of a no. It's always a possibility of a no. Even Clay's mother was tired of him. She called him out for shenanigans on Instagram using his full name. I did see that, and that was after the show. Now, Clay said, hey, I can't marry you. You know, I said, no, I'm no here. No, I can't marry. AD would have said yes. Could you imagine? She would have been blocking her blessings. Could you imagine if she said yes? Could you imagine if he said yes and they went along and got married with the hope that he would do better? Better than what we saw his dad and what he explained his dad was doing. Yeah. Because people vilify the truth. People do. Hey, Jay, y'all, another round. JS is where we'll be later for Never Ever Met. Yeah, people vilify the truth. They do. They do. But again, I think Clay saved both of them some real heartache. Real heartache. Because she wouldn't have been on Perfect Match if they lasted at least a year. Would she even be on Perfect Match? No. She wouldn't. I think it was a great thing. Now, whether people think it's blindsided or not, again, the show says you do not make a decision until you're at the altar. You're not supposed to tell your folks what you're going to do or what you plan to do. 80 should have been aware that there was a possibility. Say no. Everybody's aware there's a possibility that their person would say no. It's always a possibility. Given how little time he was actually spending with her, why would she have wanted to marry him anyways? She was giving desperate. I think, is it a matter of desperate? Like, we don't know the hours upon hours. That's the thing with Love is Blind. I would say it's a part of it is desperation. But again, I would like to know how many hours those people dated. Because if you're doing 10 days, yes, it's 10 days. But if you're spending like the first 3 days, then it's 7 days and it's only you and that other person for 7 whole days, I could see how feelings could be caught. I'm not that deep, but I can see how feelings could be caught. I didn't watch her season, but I'd rather he said something that didn't like Jared from Chicago season. He did. He knew himself enough to know he wasn't ready and she wasn't either. But truth be told, I understand why Clay said no. Totally understand why Clay said no. And I hope she, even with all the whispering right now in her interviews, I hope she understands why he said no. But they're still vilifying him. And yes, he is acting like, whatever now. He's a single man in the single world, dating a lot of women. That's okay. Consenting adults will reign. But my problem is that on the show, he kind of saved both of you. A whole lot of heartache and a whole lot of paperwork. 80 said somewhere in some interview that she gave that aside from them meeting outside the house, they were rarely together at all. Well, if you're rarely together at all, how do I know what your decision is? Your decision is to stay away from me. Jared didn't say anything to Iyanna, and he clearly didn't want to be married. Jared brought up some interesting things. Do you keep gifts from exes? That was the main thing I remember with Jared and Iyanna. I remembered a lot. But the main big topic of contention with them for me was, she arrives at the apartment. They are, they're at the apartment, and he still had gifts from exes. My thing is, you are lucky I remember that an ex gave it to me. I'm sorry. With Iyanna and Jared, you're lucky I even, that was a gift from an ex. You would have to find it in a photo to remind me, because I don't know. I'm looking around the room right now. Do I remember how I got certain things? I wouldn't remember if it was a long-standing ex. Am I the only one that finds it weird that Clay was asked his opinion on 80 and all these relationships? I find it weird, but because they were on a reality show, that's why they would ask him. Nobody's going to ask your ex about what they think about you being, married to someone else right now. No one's going to ask that. But because they were on a reality show together, I think that's why they ask him, but just to bring him into it. I don't see anyone asking Demi. Has anyone asked Demi what does she think? Have we heard a press release from Demi? Okay. I just throw that out there. Iyanna and Jared trauma bonded and should never have been together in the first place. No one was surprised when it came out that he'd been cheating. Yeah, we could say that. There was a lot of hurt that they shared with each other, but I could understand why they asked Clay. My thing is, you ask Clay, I need you to ask Demi too. Because Clay said no at the altar and Demi said no at the altar. Same kind of instance, okay? Same kind of instance. Clay went first, Demi went first. They left their person at the altar. And now the people that they left at the altar found each other. Okay? I just need to hear what Demi got to say on social media. And Demi has said nothing. So in my eyes, I would say Demi don't care. Demi does not care. She is done with them. Now, what I do like is to see Nicole and Benaya when they go on their trips with their friends, and they went with Bobby and Jasmine and then Demi, and they went to Lake Como in Italy. That was the last adventure I saw with the 5 of them together. And girl, Demi didn't even think of it. As for Demi, she did an Instagram Q&A, and somebody asked her what she thought, and she said she wasn't bothered about what she chooses to do, but wishes them well. She didn't do. That's as far as you're gonna get with Demi. I did not even see that Instagram Q&A for Demi. I was looking, so she must have done it after I was looking around. But Demi couldn't be bothered. Demi brushed her shoulders of that man and is over, done with him. Wishes him well. But some folks may take this as an opportunity for 3 more minutes of fame and association, because people want drama. And the last thing you want to do is bring drama to this delicate situation. I don't watch The Perfect Match. The first season that came out, I watched a couple episodes and I was like, ugh. I don't really watch it. I don't know if I'm going to watch it now, because I'm not a fan of the 2 people they are thrusting in front of us to make them, the ideal couple. Yeah, no, not for me. Not for me at all. But y'all, thank you so much for being here. This has been fun. So this week was all about the shows we watch and the people we follow online. And I really, really did like it. I see what other things y'all are watching, but I can't do the Love Island of it all. That's just too much. And these young people are just too wild. There are too many moving pieces. And it's kind of like find the shell under the cup and people switching out partner. Oh my word, no. Too much for me. But I wish y'all well in watching Love Island. And I believe, channels like Little Black Book 91, he is doing recaps and reviews of it. Queen E is doing that as well. I think I did see Jessie Wu do at least one revamp of it. And I believe Chloe Johnson is also doing reviews. So if you are watching Love Island and you're looking for places for the recaps, those are some suggestions. Yes, Chick-fil-A, to merch. I got an Instagram DM today from Shane from Love is Blind. He's asking if I wanted to join him on improving my appearance and getting fit. Not Shane, not Chicago Shane. Well, now he's a personal trainer? Girl, no. But y'all, thank you so much. I got to end it here. I'll see you guys on the next one. And tomorrow morning, my recap on review for Alone Season 12, Episode 1 will be up at 10 a.m. on this channel. And I also, tonight, Another Round JS, we cover Never Ever Mets. Yes, thank you for all the good chats. And I'll see y'all on the next one.